In this presentation, we're going to record a donor pledge for a construction project within QuickBooks Pro, QuickBooks Desktop. Here we are in our QuickBooks project. We currently have the open windows open. You can open the open windows by going to the view dropdown and go into the open windows list. We're first going to take a look at Excel to see what our objective will be. Here we are in Excel. We have the donor pledge for a construction project at the 109-100. The project life is expected to be 5 years. The project start date 2 years from now. So it's not going to start 2 years from now. This isn't a transaction, obviously, that we would see all the time, but note that we have a discounted value of the 96,160. So it's going to have a discounted value then that we're going to have to record at the 96,150, which is different than the pledged amount of the 109,100 because of the time value of money. So in journal entry form, it's going to look like this. We're going to have the contributions receivable. It's going to be the 109,100. It's going to increase what it's a receivable because it's in essence a pledge here. We've got the contributions with donor restrictions, meaning we have the donor restriction on it of the 96,160, and then we have a credit to the construction on contributions receivable, which is going to be the 12,940. So we put the whole receivable on the books because we expect to get the whole receivable. However, due to the time value of money, the credit to revenue is only going to be that 96,160, and then we need to record the difference, which we're going to record to the discount on contributions receivable to even out the receivable. This amount needs to be there in the receivable so that we can collect the entire amount on it, even though at the current rate, at the current time value of the money, it's less, and therefore we need to record the fact that it is less on the books in terms of current dollar amounts with the discount on the contribution receivable of the 12,940. If we then post this out then, we're going to scroll back up top and we're going to say that we have the contributions receivable is going to be increasing in Q4. So Q4 is going to go up by that 109,100. So that's going to increase. Then we're going to have the income going up. And this is going to be the contributions with restrictions. So we're going to say, all right, there's going to be contributions with the restrictions in Q14 equals contributions with restrictions. And then we have the discount on the contributions receivable. That's going to basically balance out that receivable amount. Discount on contributions receivable in Q6 equals, scrolling back down, and we'll pick up that 12,940 and enter. So that should put us back in balance. Here's our net amount is the 96,160. The revenue going up by that 96,160. Now, obviously, this is going to be something that is going to be restricted. Therefore, on our profit and loss type statement, we're going to be recording that restriction with the two columns over here. So we want to have a similar format within QuickBooks, which we will do with the classes. Also, whenever we put something into the restrictions column, we're going to set it up as a job so that we can see it there as well and track it, the individual types of restrictions that we can match up to when those restrictions are met. So let's go back over and then to our journal entry, which is here. Then we'll say, okay, how we're going to enter this into QuickBooks. It's going to be a receivable type of transaction. So we're going to do the create invoice. We're going to create an invoice. And there's going to be a donor. So the donor is going to be giving us money. So we're going to set this up as, let's say, the pledger. Let's say pledger number 2 for, that's it. Then I'm going to tab. I'm going to quick add. That's going to be a customer. We're going to say then the class is going to be restricted. So we're going to go into the restricted class. I'm going to say this happens on the 7th. We're going to scroll through and then we're going to need to set up an item. Now I'm going to keep the item as the pledge and set up the pledge. Now you could set up another item to say it's going to be a pledge. It's a non-cash pledge or something like that, a special item. And you could set up another account as well as far as an income account to say that that pledge is going to another restricted type of income account. We're going to use the pledge just as we did in our example, which will take that amount to the contributions with donor restrictions. So we're going to record the pledge, and you could put in the description for a construction project. And then we're going to say that the rate is going to be the amount that it's going to go up by, and the revenue is going to be the 96,160. So we're going to say the revenue is going to be going up the 96,160, and then we're going to have to record the discount. Now I'm going to set up another item to set up the discounts. It's going to be discount on the contributions. So I'm going to put here, I'm going to put discount, and that's going to be an item. I'm going to set up that item. We're going to set up a new item. It's going to be a service item. I'm going to put the discount here, and we might want the full name here. So I'll put the discount on pledges receivable. Let's get it from up top. Discount on contributions receivable. And I'll put that here. Discount on contributions receivable. We're going to then set up the account, which will also be discount on contributions receivable that we're going to have to set up a new account for. Tab, set up that new account. It's going to be not an income type of account, but an other current assets type of account. Other current asset type of account, just as it shows here. Now you could put it out as an accounts receivable kind of account. I'm going to keep it as other current asset. Discount on contributions receivable. It's cutting it short, so let's keep it there. And then we'll say save and close and OK. So there we have that, and that amount is going to be for, let's see, the 12,940. So this is going to be 12,940. And that's going to give our total of the 109,100. So what's this going to do? It's an invoice, going to increase the receivable by the total amount 109,100. Then the pledge item is going to drive it to our income account of the 96,160, which will be increasing. And then the discount item is going to be driving it to that other current asset account for that 12,940. Let's check it out. We're going to then go to save and close. Save and close. We're going to say yes. And then let's take a look at our financials. Go into the reports up top. Accounting and taxes. We're going to then take a look at our trial balance first. Within the trial balance, we're going to change the dates up top from a 10120 to 12/31/20. That's January through December 2020. We then see that we have in the receivables, double clicking the receivables, we got that 109,100 there. Closing that back out, the other side is going to go into the contributions. The contributions that's going to be restricted, and that's going to be the 204,160. Double clicking on that item. Then we see our amounts. We want to pick up that 96,160. Double clicking on the 96,160. We see our invoice amount there. So if we close this back out, the other item's going to be in the other on the discount on contributions. That's going to be that 12,940. Double clicking on that. That's going to be the other side of our transaction. Now let's take a look at the profit and loss by class. If we select the drop down up top, company and financial, we want to take a look at the profit and loss by class, changing the dates up top from 01/01/20 to 12/31/20, January through December. And then we see that in the restricted items, we have that 204,160. Now, this is in the restricted column, and we have multiple things in the restricted column now. We can judge or look at those things in the profit and loss by jobs now, breaking that out with the jobs report. To do that, let's first go to the customer tab up top, and then go to the customer center. And then within the customer center, I'd like to put this pledge 2 under the jobs again, so that it'll be in order. To do that, I'm going to put my cursor on this little diamond. I'm going to drag it down, and then I'm going to pull it to the right so that now it's in by job. And then I'm going to double click on that item, the pledger 2, and then I'm going to go into the job information and change the status to in progress. And then say OK. And then I can go back to I'm going to close this back out. We're going to go to the reports up top. We're going to go to the company and financial. We'll then scroll down to the profit and loss by job. Profit and loss by job, changing the dates up top from 01/01/20, 12/31/20, January through December. We have the profit and loss by job. Here are our 3 job items. And of course, those are the amounts that have the restricted items within it. Summing them up, we get the total net income, 363,160. If we go back to our profit and loss by class, we have on the restricted the 363,160. However, I can't break this out to the actual things that are being restricted as we can with the jobs. So if we go back to the jobs and we maximize this, which doesn't let me do again, that's freezing on me. Let's close it back out. And then we go to the reports up top, company and financial, scroll down to the profit and loss by job. We're going to say this is 01/01/20 to 12/31/20. And that's going to be the 3 jobs here that will then be broken out. Now you can also filter this if you don't want this kind of noise on this side. We can filter it. And this is another option you can have instead of having it like a subclass under jobs as well. If you don't want to use this little icon here and you'd rather filter the report, you can go to the custom reports up top, filters. We're going to filter by status. So I'm going to scroll down to the filter by status, job status, and then we're going to choose the job status of in progress and then say OK. And now we just have those items that we set up for the jobs that we want to track because they're going to be those restricted type of items.